Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Mr. Leo Laporte, and he has the brand new Amazon Fire TV. Oh.
I didn't want to order this, Shannon, because...
Why not?
Well, I got about 100 different devices that I can use to watch Netflix and Amazon streaming and Hulu Plus. It's on my...
That's how I feel.
Right?
I have my Roku 3 and it does perfectly.
Right.
So why do I want the Amazon Fire TV?
In fact, if you look at it, it's about the size and almost the look of a Apple TV, a little bit bigger, square corners. We don't do rounded corners here. They're trademarked or something. It comes with a remote control. It is exactly the same price as an Apple TV, $99. Has an HDMI cable on the back, optical out. That's nice. I like that feature.
That is nice.
It also has an Ethernet jack, but it has built-in Wi-Fi. That's what we're going to use here today. And a USB port. They're not... I don't think they've said what I can do with that USB port yet.
Ooh.
It is running Android. Amazon didn't say specifically, but we know it's Android, and it's the Amazon Android store and all of that. And for an additional, you get the remote, but for an additional $40, you can also get a looks like a pancaked Xbox controller. It has all the same...
Not a bad price for a controller.
No, and it has all the same buttons as an Xbox controller, with a few extras. See, here's a play, rewind, fast forward. That's appropriate because you can use this instead of the remote control.
That's
so
cool.
It does everything the remote control does. Very much like a PlayStation 4 and Xbox controller, it binds to the device. And since there are 4 lights here, I'm going to assume that you can attach up to 4 controllers.
Ooh.
That is the big difference on the Fire TV. Amazon really promoted the fact that it'll play games. So it is a TV streamer with some
More
games.
than just Angry Birds, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, Roku 3 will play Angry Birds, but not very well.
Yeah.
Traditionally, these set-top boxes don't have a lot of horsepower, and so playing games is difficult. This one is a quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 600. We found that out from iFixit that tore it down.
That's fun.
It has a dedicated GPU. So actually gaming is pretty reasonable on here. You can play the same kind of games you play on your mobile phone. In fact, that's why Amazon can do this. It's essentially last year's smartphone.
Okay.
With that last year's processor, has 2 gigs of RAM. That's unusual in a smartphone. That does help the speed a little bit.
Yeah.
And you know what? I like it a lot. The interface is great. The big thing Amazon touts is the voice search. Now let me show you a little bit about how...
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, how that works. You saw Gary Busey saying, I talk to my TV, it never talks back. Now it does. What would you like me to... Give me a TV show or anything you want me to search for.
Ooh, TV show. Let's do Dexter.
Dexter. So it's like Siri. You press and hold the button. It listens. The search has been excellent. I haven't had any trouble. But I'm going to point out something. Dexter
found Dexter.
It did. It happens to be on Netflix, right?
Right,
But
yeah.
it doesn't know it's on Netflix. So this is not universal search. What it's going to do is it's going to give me the Amazon streaming version of Dexter.
No. See, I would love it if we had a box like this that could search everything.
Wouldn't you like universal search?
So cool.
I don't think I blame Amazon for this. A number of people have noted this and said, oh, it favors the Amazon store. It doesn't mention Netflix. I don't see that as a problem. I think it's more likely that Netflix didn't give them the information. You'd have to give them your whole
rights,
database,
some kind
right?
of code, right.
And the ability to search it, and they have to keep it up to date. And remember, if it were going to search, it would have to search not just Netflix, but also Hulu Plus. I bought Minecraft. Now, notice, it's not the full Minecraft. It's the mobile Minecraft, the Pocket Edition. That's because this is think of this as an Android device. In fact, you can use your Kindle Fire, a tablet, as a second screen for this. It really is almost a Kindle Fire in a box. Here's a game that is from the Amazon Game Studios. That's the other thing they kind of touted, is that they were going to do their own game development. This is called SubZero. It's kind of a mix of a Halo. Oh, and I have to do this with the control. Or
Do you have to do that every time you connect to a game?
No, in fact, I don't even have to use the remote. I can use the controller. But you see how quickly it connected. It's very instantaneous. So this is a little bit of Halo, a little bit of tower defense. I think what you're going to see is that all of these games are Android-style mobile casual games.
Not crazy graphics.
Well, you know what? Let me go back to Asphalt 8, because that'll give you maybe a better idea of what the graphics can do. That's the racing game that everybody shows off. Asphalt 8 is a pretty nice mobile game. By the way, notice I'm now still holding the controller, but able to navigate this just as I would with the regular video device. Let's go into
That's
games
cool.
here. Here's my game library. Oh, you like Pinball HD.
I do like pinball.
We should play that a little bit later on. There's Sonic. Here's Asphalt 8. So pros and cons on this. You know, it is a Me Too device, but it has some nice features. It's fast. In fact, it's faster than the Apple TV because they've put a fast quad-core processor in it, a graphics card dedicated, and 2 gigs of RAM. So it's
Hey fans, what's going on? Welcome back to Tech of Tomorrow. I'm Eric here with Buddy the dog, and today we've got something really hot and exciting for you guys to take a look at. This is the new Amazon Fire TV. Now we're going to bring you guys the unboxing, the features, and why at the end of the day, the top 5 reasons why you're going to want to get your hands on this brand new product from the people over at Amazon. Let's go. So before we jump into those features, let's see what comes inside the box. So inside that little black box, you get the Amazon Fire TV. It's sized in at 4.5 by 4.5 by 0.07 inches, and it weighs 9.9 ounces, which is 281 grams. Comes with the remote, which also has voice control, the power cord, 2 AAA batteries, and the quick start guide. So pretty much everything you guys need to get up and going. So feature number 5 is something that I love to take advantage of, and this is Amazon Prime. Now with Amazon Prime, you get a lot more than just movies and TV. You get a lot of shipping stuff, but with this product, you get Amazon Prime that's seamlessly integrated inside of it. So you have no third-party vendors, nothing else like that. This is actually made from Amazon for Amazon TV, so you know the quality of it's going to be very great, control is going to be awesome, just a much more seamless and integrated solution than you've seen ever before on any product. You also get 40,000 titles right off the bat with Prime, and you can get up to like 200,000 movies and other shows all available through Amazon Prime. So it's a really cool service that has a lot to offer. And with this new Fire TV, it's right inside the box. Next up, very exciting, feature number 4, ASAP, Angry Samoans and Penguins. What? No? Oh, well. What it really stands for is Advanced Streaming and Prediction. It actually learns what movies and shows you like and gets them ready for you to watch. The more you use Fire TV, the more accurate ASAP becomes, dynamically adapting to your viewing habits. So essentially what ASAP does is this. Say you're watching an episode of The Walking Dead and you're on like episode 3. What this does is it predicts that you're actually going to be watching more episodes, and it has those preloaded in the queue so they're automatically ready for you to watch. No waiting, no downloading, just instant awesome streaming pretty much instantly. Anyways, what the hell? Feature number 3 is voice search. Now on the Roku products, the Apple-based products, this is something that does not work very well at all. And something that's really, really cool about the Fire TV remote is that the actual microphone is in the remote. So instead of having to yell across the room, you can just speak right into your remote control, and then it will take advantage and bring it to the programs that you want to watch. That's something that nobody else has, and is a very, very cool feature that is featured only on the new Fire TV from Amazon. Feature number 2, that's right. Now you folks are going to love this. Now I know people out there who are PC gamers are just going to go, snuff at this. But check it out. For you people out there who like Android gaming, this is going to be pretty cool because this entire device is basically based off Android technology. Now you guys will be able to get games starting off at 99 cents going up. And this is going to be pretty cool because you'll be able to sit here and play games right on your TV, in your living room. And they also have a separate little joystick controller that you can get that's completely wireless for $40. Now with that thing, you can download these games, just sit in front of your TV on Amazon Prime and take advantage of those games. Now like I said, obviously for a PC gamer, you're going to be like, whatever. But for people who are used to playing Android device games, you're going to be at home and you're really going to like this feature. Now, unfortunately, demand for these things right now is fracking insane, folks, but we have ours on order and they should be here in the next couple of days. So if you guys would actually like to see a demo of that, make sure you guys hit that like button and let me know that you'd like to see it. Hit that like button if you want to, even leave a comment and say, hey, I'd love to see that, and we'll bring it to you folks. Now, next up is feature number 1, powerful pecs. Wait, all right, I mean specs. Now check these out, folks. This is the very first set-top box to ever have a quad-core processor inside of it. Now specifically, the Fire TV contains a quad-core Qualcomm Crate 300 1.7 GHz processor with an Adreno 320 GPU and 2 GB of memory. Now what that Adreno 320 GPU equates to is 4 times the performance of the Apple TV, the Roku, and the Chromecast. It also features 8 GB of internal storage, Bluetooth 4.0, 5.1 surround, 7.1 pass-through, and 1080p up to 60 frames per second. So all right, folks, I hope you guys like this video. Personally, this is a product that I know that I'm going to use. I've been using my PlayStation forever and a day. I like this much, much better. You guys can see it has lots of great features. Coming to market for $99. Like I said, you guys will be able to get that separate remote control little joystick thing for 40 bucks. Play all your games, and games only start about $1. So it's going to be really, really awesome stuff. So for pricing, availability, all that stuff would be down there below that like button, which I know you're going to go Jackie Chan style on, and we'll see you guys back here on Tech tomorrow for more tech goodness. See you later.
Will you take my hand and be with me till the end? American beautiful.
Hey guys, Mike here, the Detroit Board, with a look at the new Amazon Fire TV, which retails for $100 and is here to take on the Apple TV, the Roku 3, and the Chromecast. Those are the more popular set-top boxes, and of course, Amazon has some weight behind it. Now, this parallels those devices, so offers very similar functionality, but has one distinguishing feature, among others. But the biggest one is voice search. So the remote control actually has voice search built in, so you can actually speak to the remote control to input text as opposed to using the on-screen keyboard, which is always a hassle. So that's kind of nice here. And it also has some impressive internal specs, including Bluetooth. We have a quad-core processor. In fact, you'll see it mentioned down here. Quad-core 1.7 gigahertz Snapdragon 600 processor, along with an Adreno 320 dedicated graphics processor. We also have Wi-Fi with dual MIMO antennas, and we have 1080p HD video up to 60 frames per second, along with Dolby processing for 5.1 as well as 7.1 pass-through. And again, of course, we have voice search. While this is an Amazon product, it doesn't just serve Amazon content. So we have lots of third-party support from Hulu Plus, Netflix, Crackle, Bloomberg, Showtime Anytime, Watch On, ESPN, and many more. We also have music apps such as TuneIn Radio, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and more. Now, with those impressive internal specs, Amazon says that we get up to 4 times the performance of the Apple TV or the Roku 3, which gives us an opportunity for some impressive gaming performance. Now again, this is running Android, so these are pretty much Android games. So you can see all the gaming partners that Amazon is with, from EA to Sega to Gameloft to Ubisoft and more. And of course, we also have Amazon Game Studios, so Amazon is also developing its own games. Now with those games comes a game controller, which Amazon is selling as a separate accessory for 40 bucks. So we're going to take a look at that in this video. All right, so let's go ahead and unbox this thing. And if you've ever unboxed one of the recent Kindles like the HDX, this is going to be very familiar. Have a little tab here. And we're going to go ahead and slide it out. Amazon Fire TV. We should have a little tab down here to pull to open up our box. All right, just going to crack the lid here. And inside is our Fire TV. So there we go. We have the Fire TV, which is 4.5 inches on all sides and only 0.7 inches thick. So let me go ahead and, I guess I have to tip it over here to get to it. There we go. We have some literature on the back, Amazon Fire TV. We're going to set that aside for just a moment. Some quick instructions on how to set it up, plug it into the wall, set up the remote, that sort of thing. We're going to do that in this video. We have our remote controller. This actually reminds me of the Apple TV packaging, even the diagonal remote underneath the box. But there we go. It's slightly larger than the, well, it's actually quite a bit larger than the Apple TV remote, but it's actually similar in design with that clickable D-pad and the minimal buttons, so you can see our navigation buttons. Let me go ahead and pop this out of here. Now, like the game controller, the remote control also uses Bluetooth to connect to the Fire TV. So let me go ahead and remove this plastic, which isn't coming off as easily as I expected. There we go. We have our battery compartment. Now this means that with Bluetooth, we do not need line of sight with our Fire TV, so you can hide it anywhere. This takes 2 AAA batteries, which should be included in here. So we'll set that aside for just a moment and get to that. So we have our power adapter for the Amazon Fire TV itself, wrapped in plastic. The design looks pretty sharp. I'm gonna go ahead and peel off all this plastic. So there we go, 16 watt, glossy on the sides, matte on the top and bottom. So inside we have our two AAA batteries, Amazon branded, for our remote. Now I just want to show you some of the thought and quality that went into this device. So even the battery connector down here is a little nicer than typical. So you can see it's spring-loaded. It's actually very similar to the ones in the Apple Magic Mouse. So as you can see, we have our voice search button with the microphone. We have our directional D-pad with a center click. We have back, home, and menu, as well as our media controls. Now the remote has a really nice texture to it. It's actually very similar to the texture on a Kindle. All right, so let's get to the Fire TV itself, which is actually weighted. It's kind of heavier than something like an Apple TV, which tends to skirt around on a entertainment shelf, like mine kind of disappear with the weight of the cable. So this is weighted. It's actually got a weight built right into the chassis to keep it planted, so that's kind of nice. All right, just slide it out. Now we have a piece of plastic wrapping the glossy edges. There we go. Now it's kind of clear that the Fire TV takes after the design of the Apple TV, complete with the matte texture on the top with the glossy logo and the glossy sides as well. But of course you can see that this is a wider device, 4.5 inches, but it's also thinner than the Apple TV. So it's just a redistribution of the weight, but this definitely has more impressive internal specs than the Apple TV. Now if we look at the foot, we have this gripping material on the bottom as opposed to the Apple TV, which has a more rigid texture, which means that this has a tendency to kind of move around on smooth surfaces while this does a better job gripping it. Now the remote controls also look somewhat similar, but of course we have this all aluminum design with the Apple remote as opposed to the plastic. And of course this is a much larger remote control, which includes voice search and additional buttons. Now the Apple remote is using IR as opposed to Bluetooth in the case of the Fire TV. So on the back, we have our power port, HDMI, optical audio output, Ethernet, as well as a USB port, which you can use to expand storage or to access external media. Now, they do not include an HDMI cable, so you will have to supply that yourself. Now, interestingly, is that these labels are in this sort of tower position, so you could, in theory, I guess, put this sideways. So you could stand this up on its side as opposed to laying it flat. All right, so let's go ahead and unbox the game controller. Again, same packaging here. Got a little tab here to open up. Pop the lid. Inside is our game controller along with our batteries right here. These are AA's. See if there's anything else in here. Nope. Let's peel off the plastic. Now the game controller is very similar in design to something like the Xbox One controller. Same ergonomics, same button layout. So you can see we have a D-pad, we have our joysticks, as well as our media controls at the base. We have X, Y, B, A buttons, back, home, menu, and our power on pairing button for the remote. We have our shoulder buttons and our trigger buttons. You can also see we have our LED indicator back here for pairing and powering on. Toward the back we have our battery compartment, and as you can see I've already installed our Amazon branded batteries and we're good to go. Alright, so let's go ahead and set this up for the first time. I'm just going to press start. Now it's scanning for my wireless network. So now I have to input my password, which is really the only time you're going to see this on-screen keyboard. Alright, so I've successfully connected to my network, and then the first order of business is to update the software. Alright, so once it restarts, you get this little animated tutorial telling you about the Fire TV.
Fire TV lets you stream a huge amount of entertainment, and the Amazon Fire TV remote lets you access it all.
Now once it goes through the tutorial, you can select your parental settings, so I'm going to say no parental controls. Now because I purchased my Amazon TV using my account on Amazon, they've already logged me in. So all my Amazon content is already here. I didn't have to enter in my password or account information. So on my home screen, we have this left column, which allows you to cycle between the various options you can take a look at. So we have our home screen, which is the home screen when you press the home button on the remote control, takes you right here. So you can see we have our recent activity. So these are apps and movies and things I've already looked at previously. So I just recently installed YouTube. I also activated Netflix, I've purchased a movie, and a few other things here. And if you look down below each item, you'll see we have options here. We can resume playback on this movie, add it to my watch list, or remove it. If we go to the app, Netflix, you can go to more info or remove from recent, and same with the YouTube app. So if you go to more info, So you can see we have screen views. We can go to the left side here and go to app details, reviews, and similar apps. Now we also have recently added to Prime, so these are just items that have been added to Amazon Prime recently, and include TV shows and movies. So of course, if you're an Amazon Prime customer, you can play those free. We also have featured apps and games, featured movies and TV, recommended movies and TVs, top movies on Prime, top TV on Prime, new releases, top free games, recommended apps, and games. Now, under movies, we have recently added to Prime. We have shop new releases. We have recommended movies, top movies on Prime, shop top movies for the kids, recommended science fiction, recommended action and adventure, recommended fantasy, and on and on and on and on. So there's lots to look at here. All right, so if we go to The Hobbit, you can see I've already purchased this. I could also add it to my watch list. I can watch the trailer, and there's more ways to watch. So I can watch it in standard definition or HD, which I've already purchased. And I can also resume playback. So for example, if I've been watching this movie on my Amazon Fire Kindle HDX, I can resume it on my Fire TV. Now when you're watching a movie, you can get to more options by hitting the menu button on the remote control. As you can see, it also pauses playback, but here I can change my captions. I can turn them on. I can change my languages if there are more available. I just have English available here. I can change my font size for the captions as well. And there are a few other things here which are not in this movie, which include X-ray, which gives me information for things such as the actors that appear in this scene and that sort of thing. Now under watch list, I've just added one movie, but of course you could add TV shows and other movies. Basically, this is a watch later list, so if I want to watch this later, at least I have a place to go without having to find this movie again. So I can remove it from watch list, I can watch the trailer, I get my reviews down here. If I click on the item, I can rent it for $4.99, buy it for $19.99. I can remove it from the watch list. I can watch the trailer, or I have more ways to watch. So if I want to save a few bucks in standard definition, I could do that as well. Now, in the left column, you see I also have cast information. So I can go right to the cast and even see the movies related to that actor. So for example, Leo DiCaprio, I have several of his movies here. Looks like he's still trying to load the poster art, but there you go. If I want to watch one of these movies instead, I can certainly do that. Now, the video library contains every movie I've purchased, so right now that's just The Hobbit, so I can resume playback.
We know where you live.
And there we go. Now, under games, I have my library, so they've included one game, SubZero. This comes with the purchase of the remote control. So if you buy the remote control, you get this game. So you can click on it, and it will download it to your Fire TV so you can begin playing it. Now below that, we have our marketplace for picking up additional games. So for example, we can see what's spotlighted. So we can see the SubZero game, which they've included. We also have Minecraft, The Walking Dead, Asphalt, 8, Airborne, and etc. So we have some kids games as well. So let me go ahead and grab Asphalt 8. So you can see that's a free game, but not all games are free. So let me go back to a game you have to pay for. So we have Minecraft Pocket Edition. So you can buy that for $6.99 or 699 coins. And as you can see here, I have 1,500 coins, and that's because I purchased the game controller. So I can go ahead and buy this with those coins instead of paying with cash. Now once again, on the left-hand side, you have some game details. You have your reviews, similar games. So let's go to Overview and purchase this for free. All right, we'll demonstrate games a bit later, but let's jump to our apps. So we can see all the apps that we have installed, including our games, the YouTube app, and some of the ones that came with it, like Netflix, Watch ESPN, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Hulu Plus, Crackle, Vivo, Vimeo, Showtime Anytime, TuneIn Radio, and Bloomberg TV. Now, Showtime Anytime is kind of nice, although you do not have HBO Go at this time, although it can be side-loaded, apparently, but you just can't add your password to activate it yet. Now, under popular lists, we have movies and TVs, music, new releases. So if you select any one of these categories, again, you see all of the new apps in this category. If we go back, we can go to music apps. So we can see Pandora, iHeartRadio, lots more. Cello and Red Bull TV are in there as well, all geared toward music, movies, and TV apps. So you can see Plex is here as well, Crackle, Showtime Anytime, Watch On, NBA. Some apps we already have installed, Frequency. So you can see there's lots and lots of them, and I'm sure more will be added over time. Now under Photos, you can actually view your photos directly on your TV or use your photos as the screensaver. So there is an automatic screensaver in here that turns on, and they do include photos, but if you want to use your own, you can do that. You just have to upload them to Amazon.com, and you can use the app on your iPhone or Android phone. We also have settings, so you can see your Help Center, My Account Information, Second Screen, which you can turn off and on. This allows you to use your Amazon Kindle as your second screen for getting additional information on what you're watching on your TV, such as a movie. We have applications, so you can go to your applications here, And you can, for example, if you want to take a look at Asphalt 8, let's click on that. You can see how much space is taken up, so you can see quite a bit, 1.5 gigs out of our 8 gigs of storage is quite a bit. You can force stop it, you can uninstall it, clear data, or clear the cache. You also have parental control, so you can set that here as well. You also have your controller, so this is where you can add your Bluetooth gamepad. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up so we can play a game a bit later. Alright, so I've paired my gamepad. I can now use this as my remote. Now we also have system settings, so here we can see about this device, which will tell us about our software and how much storage we're using. So as you can see, we only have less than 3 gigs available now. Software version, serial number, network information, controllers, we have 2 connected, and we can check for system updates. We can go back here and go to screensaver options. So here we can select our albums. So you can see I just have one which has 194 images. That comes from Amazon. We can shuffle that. Slide style. So we have a variety of transition options we can choose from. Slide speed, start time. So you can select up to 10, 15, or never. So if you don't want the screensaver to activate, you can do that. And you can select your own album so you can see your own photos. We have Wi-Fi settings here, so you have more options. Join other networks, configure the network. We have quiet time, which I'm actually not sure what that is at this time, but if I figure that out, I'll tell you in the description below. We have collect app data usage. Actually, let me turn that off. We have collect app data usage, or usage data, which you can toggle on and off. It's on by default. Developer options, display. So we have auto with no scale, but you can calibrate it yourself. And then we have audio. So you have several options here. You have Dolby Digital output. Right now I'm just connected to my TV, so I can't really take advantage of Dolby Digital unless I connect it to my AV receiver. We have our time zone, which I've set automatically, legal and compliance information, and reset to factory defaults. Really, the standout feature here is voice search. So in order to activate it, no matter where you are on the device, all you have to do is press and hold the microphone button and speak. The Hobbit. Release it when you're done, and it searches for you. Finds The Hobbit, you can select it, and there you go. Gives me several options here. So I can select the one I want to watch. I can buy it, add to watch list, etc., etc. But there's more things you can do here. You could say Patrick Stewart. Select that, and it gives me all movies featuring Patrick Stewart. I could also say Netflix. Now I can launch Netflix. So let's take a quick look at Netflix. Now the interface is designed by Netflix. Amazon didn't take control over the UI design. So every app will have its own unique interface design. So that's something to consider here. But otherwise, things like Netflix are pretty well designed and pretty easy to navigate. So you can see you can log in, see all your previously watched content, what's popular, and you can pick up from where you last left off. You can also search as well. Now, unfortunately, you can't use voice search in this case. You do have to input text in order to search. So if you want to use that voice search option, you're pretty much limited to Amazon content. Now, let me take you back to search, which is at the top. Now, you can search by voice or text. So I already showed you how to search by voice. Let's do text. So, for example, if I want to do Star Trek, just start typing in. And it does pretty quickly here. So you can see it found it right away. And searches for Star Trek, and you can see the interface is extremely fast and smooth. Now with the 3D acceleration, even the user interface is really quick and smooth. You can even see we get a little 3D animation over the poster art here, so you can see that little glare effect there, which is kind of neat. You can select that and continue watching. It's just amazing how fast it is. Now this also has a feature called ASAP, which preloads content based on your history. So for example, if I start watching episode 1, or season 1, episode 2, it predicts that you will likely want to watch episode 3 next, so it will preload it for you, so you don't have to wait for it to download. So it works pretty nicely.
Captain's log, stardate 41386.
Alright, so let's go ahead and play some games. Now the first thing I'm going to show you is that when you go to the game section and you hit the menu button on the remote control, you have access to your Game Circle profile. So this is kind of like Game Center for your Amazon account. So this allows you to keep score and to challenge others and to set your gamer tag as well as your avatar. So all of that is here. Now, interestingly, they came up with a gamer tag for me. So this is the one they came up with, Aspiring Fine Cyclone. So if I can select that, and I can enter in my own gamer tag. So I'm going to go with Detroit Borg. Alright, so let's go ahead and play one of these games. Now I'm going to play Asphalt 8. Now this will work with either your included remote control, or you can use the gamepad that you buy separately. Now, SubZero is a much more graphically impressive game, so let's go ahead and check that out.
I'm heading into the nearest dark matter refinery core. I can link to the network from inside. I'm activating the core's energy shield. Given the strength of the reactor, it won't last long under a direct attack. Make sure they don't get that far.
So in conclusion, the Fire TV doesn't really revolutionize anything in terms of streaming set-top boxes, but it adds quite a few very useful features, including voice search that actually works, and then it also has some impressive internal specs for impressive gaming performance. So for $99, it definitely has an edge over things like the Apple TV and the Roku 3. So that's going to do for me in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.